Joining us right now, the legendary CBS broadcaster and a dear, dear, close personal friend, my main man, Jim Nantz. Jimmy, Craig, and Evan, how you been, pal?
I am well. I've been well. It's nice to be reunited with you, and it's Monday, the day after a big playoff game. I'm back home in California and just trying to, get my mind moving forward here to the championship game. Most Mondays, I find myself in a little bit of like a game hangover.
Sure.
I'm still playing out the plays, and all that happened, particularly in that Cleveland-Kansas City game that I attended. So, anyway, this is going to help me snap out of the fog.
Let's do it. Let's snap out of it together. As you're watching it, Tony went crazy, obviously, when he thought Henny had run for the first down, and there was just unbridled enthusiasm, all right? Do you elbow him in that spot and go, wait a minute, it's not a first down?
No. And honestly, the sequence, I haven't gone back to see it, but it sure was amazing. It's a great booth in Kansas City. It's close to the field, so you can really eyeball it without playing it off the monitor.
Right.
And I wasn't so sure. At first glance, it kind of looked like he might have it, but I saw the side judge come in, and he was going to mark it short. So we're 6 feet apart. Actually, we're closer to like 10 feet apart in the booth. So there's no elbowing, no nudging. It is what it is. That's part of the beauty of it.
Sure.
You're not supposed to always be right.
No, and I thought it was...
To be a fan, yeah.
I thought one of the best parts of Romo is that he's just real. He's authentic. He says it as it comes out. Now, as you're getting ready to describe the next play from the shotgun, the fourth down play, in your mind, are you thinking, all right, we've seen this little act before, trying to get him off sides, punt, and then cross your fingers? How shocked were you when you saw Henny roll to the right and throw the pass? Were you like all other Americans watching the game, or is your perspective totally different on that?
Well, again, I'd have to go back and hear the moment and hear the call. I think there will be a lot of shock in my voice because I certainly didn't expect it. As they're running down the play clock, and it all appears as an attempt to try to draw the Browns off sides, and Tony's kind of taking the audience through this, and Tony's convinced. Look, you can tell by the body language, and he went on through all of that. And then all of a sudden, I know I said, there is a play, and then Henny rolled right and completed the Tyreek. But, no, I mean, I had no idea that they were going to actually run a play. But, man, it's so fun when you're surprised and you can react to it like a fan.
Oh, yeah. And when Tony said, look at the body language, I started staring at Tyreek Hill, who eventually made the play, and he was literally standing there as if they weren't going to run a play. So it's almost like he was deking the defense, and he certainly deked us into thinking, they're not running a play here on 4th and 1.
Well, that's part of how you set up the play, no doubt. Now we know that. But, I mean, for Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and the Chiefs to do that, I mean, you think about, you would have left Cleveland with, a 48-yard field, 44-yard field? I forget where the ball was snapped, somewhere around that range. And you would have had more than a minute to go. So now, even though they're out of timeouts, you could actually do something with it. I mean, it really, truly was putting a whole season's worth of work on the line with a backup quarterback. You still got to make the throw. I know it seems like it's an easy one, but, we see drops, we see guys throw balls into the dirt. And they executed. I mean, it's one of the plays of the year.
There's a lot to be said for that. Talking to Jim Nantz, of course, who will have the AFC Championship game, which is the late game on Sunday. And then, of course, the Super Bowl with the entire crew out there. Yeah, you're right. That's the beauty of it. It's why we love sports so much. Like, a lot of guys don't make that throw perfect. A lot of guys don't catch the ball the way Tyreek did. And think about this. I know you just want a great Super Bowl. It doesn't matter to you personally who plays. But can you imagine an AFC Championship game with Buffalo and Cleveland in it? Two franchises, that have never won Super Bowls. And then to have that AFC Championship game and all the storylines that would have gone with it. As much as it's great that, you have the juggernaut of Kansas City and knock on wood, Mahomes' health allows him to play. That might have been really special, having the Browns and the Bills in the championship game.
And, of course, I'm going to say this, but it is very special what we're left with anyway, with Buffalo still standing, and this just the beginning of what appears to be a great run for the Bills coming up. But, I would have liked to have seen it. I'm not one of those people that gets caught up on, hey, we have to have this as our matchup or no one's going to watch the Super Bowl. I never concern myself with that. It's always about the story to me, and I think that's your point, Chris, is I think, Craig, you're saying that it's about the quality of the story. If you had the Browns and the Bills there, I think, that would have been about as rich as it gets as far as the underdog team. But, we can't have a bad Super Bowl matchup now. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, Buffalo, okay, maybe Buffalo would be the weakest national story. I don't see that.
No,
I don't see that at all.
They're all sexy. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. It's the Super Bowl.
Yep.
One thing that was interesting on the broadcast, and I thought you guys did a good job going back to it, was the Tyreek Hill push. Because going in a commercial, it looked like Tyreek Hill pushed his position coach, and then on the way out, then it looks like, okay, they're just playing around. I think Andy Reid even confirmed it after the game. What are you thinking at that time when that comes up on the screen?
Well, I'm getting counted to commercial, Ev. I'm getting counted down, and that happens like at 0. And they're going to roll the commercial. So you can't kind of like stop the commercial roll and say, hold on a minute, what was that? So as soon as they dipped to black and they went to commercial, I was like, what in the world did I just see?
Yep.
And they went back and looked at it, and we were watching with a live feed at the same time of what was playing out on the bench. And next thing you know, it looks like they're just kidding around. You see Greg Lewis over yucking it up with them, and we knew we had to come back and do something with it. Honestly, to me, it didn't look right. I don't know what the explanation is. I don't know how many, situations in the workplace could anybody ever get away with something like that. But, if Andy Reid's saying that there was nothing there, I guess there's nothing there. We did replay what it appeared, or I guess some of this is speculation, that Tyreek was upset that he was open on what would have been a deep throw to the end zone. And I know I came out of that saying, he really wasn't that open. I mean, he really wasn't.
Right. I'm glad you guys addressed it. It's one of those weird things because as viewers, we see it. And then I always wonder, do you guys pay attention to Twitter? Is there a producer in your ear saying, hey, we just saw something that looked different or weird. We got to address it because the audience saw it. I always wonder how that plays itself out for you guys.
Well, I'm not a Twitter guy, so I don't know how fast. I know you can instantly tweet something, but I can't imagine that there's anybody in the truck that would have been monitoring. And I can speak to that. It's not the way that unfolded. I mean, the second we went to commercial, I was, we got to come back and figure out what this is.
Got it.
And we didn't know there was going to be like this peacemaking moment where the coach, you guys remember Greg Lewis as a player in the league. Honestly, he looked completely unfazed by it. So I'm sure there'll be some more coming out about what that was all about. But, at first glance, and even a day later, it looked it looked awkward to me.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I can say that I've seen very many times anybody do or get away with.
How did 16,000 people feel and sound to you? Because at home...
Felt like... Yeah.
At home, I guess I'm so used to nothing that like 5, 8, 10,000 feels great, but 16 sounded amazing. How did it sound to you at the stadium?
I actually had this thought. I'm glad you asked me this question because I never thought anybody would ask me, but it feels like a full stadium. As crazy as that is, I know at some point in the commercial, I turned to Tony and I said, man, it feels like we got a sellout here. I mean, I've been at Arrowhead for, the last 2 AFC Championship games, a lot of games through the years, and it's one of the most raucous settings, and they had the decibel meter record at one time. They were going back and forth with Seattle for the loudest noise, and it was a higher decibel level than a 747 engine and all this. So I've been there when it's like packed, and it felt like it was packed, and it's just amazing to see. I got to tell you, as a viewer, sitting in my hotel room in Kansas City, I was watching a Buffalo game on Saturday night that had 6,000, and I thought it was jumping off the screen. So I'm excited to see fans, even in small doses, come back.
Sure.
And they're making a difference. I mean, it was definitely noticeable, and it's you just can't believe that you're 1/5 full, and it can sound like it's 100%.
Talking to Jim Nantz, going to wrap it up here in a couple seconds because I know Jim's got stuff to do, which means he's teeing off in like 5 minutes. That's all. That's all that means.
Hey, hold on, Craig. Can I tell you what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I'm doing? I am in Carline. I'm in Carline to pick up my son from school.
Oh, perfect. I respect
That's
that.
There will be no golf today. Our big event today is we're riding bikes today. It's a beautiful,
Awesome. Good. Well, then we'll let you get out of here in a second then, because that's much more important. What was I forgot. So Boomer comes back the other night after filling in for Tony to do the game with you in L.A. And, of course, Boomer being Boomer, he throws out the picture that he's following you through the drive-thru at McDonald's before you guys go to do the game. And I said, I remember my good buddy Jim admitted that when he eats breakfast before a game, he likes his toast and he likes it burnt. I go,
this is great.
How is Nantz going to the McDonald's drive-thru and getting burnt toast? What's up?
It's all a ruse. It was all just a joke, the old story. But yeah, I had no idea. They have us, of course, in separate cars going to the stadium, and Boomer's in the car behind us taking pictures of us going through the drive-thru. No, there's nothing too exciting there to report. No, I don't know. What are you asking?
I don't know. I'm just sure that because, the rest of the story Boomer said to me was that you took like 25 minutes on your order, so he had his car back up and then leave. Hey, what's it going to be?
No, there's unfortunately there's nothing there except a cup of coffee and an egg McMuffin. So
fair enough.
It's pretty basic stuff. Yeah.
And what's your quick thought? 2 Masters in 6 months. So how do you feel that the Masters will go?
Yeah, actually, 2 in under 5 months. And, you think about it, we're about as far away right now, not quite, as the midway point in between these 2 Masters. And it feels like it just happened a few days ago when Dustin Johnson won. So, hey, I'm thrilled about it. But I'm in one of these great stretches where I'm just very fortunate that CBS has all of these events, and they entrust me to do them. I've got an AFC Championship game. I got a Super Bowl. I've got a little bit of golf to call out here on the West Coast, including here at home at Pebble Beach and L.A. and San Diego. And then I get the NCAA tournament, which is going to be really interesting. Sounds like we're going to be holed up in Indianapolis for about 3 weeks in a bubble.
Yep.
And then we'll get to the Masters. So in coach speak, you take them one event at a time. They're all blessings. Augusta will be here before we know it. But, man, right now it's all about this wild and Final Four teams and what our matchup's going to be in Tampa. And I can't wait to do it. I'm having a joyride. I mean, being with Tony, it was just fantastic. It's 2 pals watching a game, and hopefully the enthusiasm, you can hear it and feel it, and that's what it really is.
And you can't see yourself ever working at another network. We got to figure this out and get you locked up and done so that you can continue on and wrap it up whenever you're ready to wrap it up for CBS, right?
Listen, I've had a wonderful my 36th year. And I just want to say this because I know you guys are up against the break. Craig, I know you've been back for a while, but I'm just really happy for you. I wish you all the best. And you and Evan, you take over a time slot that I know well.
Sure.
Maybe we didn't always agree on Mike. He's a very loyal and dear friend of my life, and I know you guys have had your battles through the years. Hopefully all that's at peace now. I love Mike like a brother, but that doesn't mean I don't wish you guys well, and I'm especially happy. Evan, you've always been awesome and a steady influence there at WFAN. And Craig, I just think it's great. The second act of your career. We communicated a little bit during that period while you're away, and I believe in you, and I believe in people getting second chances. I just want to wish you all the best. I'm really appreciative that you had me on.
Well, listen, I appreciate it, and the only thing I'll say about behind the scenes, people that we share in our lives always said to me that whenever they saw you, you asked how I was doing and meant it, and that goes a long way. Yep. And I'm blessed to have people like you ask about me and say how I'm doing. And I appreciate what you said. And listen, the stuff between me and Mike, bygones. Mike had an amazing career. We should all be so lucky to have the career that he had. He and I didn't get along personally, and that's one day maybe we'll sit down and have a cup of coffee and figure it out. If not, doesn't mean anything about what I think about his career, of course. And I appreciate your support. And Love the fact you came on today and look forward to hearing you next Sunday, then at the Super Bowl. And once we're allowed to see each other once again, I look forward to that as well.
I do, too. I look forward to it, and I hate to run, but here comes my son, and I'm the next parent up.
Do what you got to do, Jimmy. Thanks, pal.
Thanks, Jim.
All the best, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Jim Nantz, everyone. CBS, of course. And there you have it. 2 Masters in 5 months. Super Bowl, AFC Championship game, the tournament, and what else? What else is there?
Random golf events in California. Throw that in there,
he moved out to Pebble Beach.
Nice.
He lives on the Pebble Beach golf course.
It's not a bad place to live.
There you go. So nice of him to come on. And it's true, there's a couple people that I'm friendly with that he's friendly with, who I stayed in close contact with throughout my nonsense. All self-inflicted. I want to always be clear about that. And who always made a point of saying, hey, I saw Nancy asked about you. I saw Nancy asked about you. And when you can't have enough people asking about you, to know that Jim Nantz asked about me really meant the world to me. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I didn't even know that we had scheduled him to come on today. That happened, I think, on Friday. I think CBS or Jim himself said, hey, now that you guys are rolling, let me just come on and say hi, kind of break bread, that kind of thing. So all good, right?
Awesome.
All good. Nice.
All good in the hood.
Sunday. What time's the game Sunday? 6:30?
6:30. I think the first one's at 3:05.
So CBS 6:30, Fox 3:05, Championship Sunday. Oh, man, it's great.
And here's the truth. And the NFL is king for this reason. When we're in the baseball playoffs or in the NBA playoffs, those matchups matter when you get to a championship. They don't matter. I mean, take any Super Bowl matchup you want. Buffalo, Green Bay. Buffalo, Tampa. It doesn't matter.
Super Bowl's the Super Bowl.
They're all awesome.
Yeah.
And they're all appealing matchups. And the Super Bowl's the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl is the Super Bowl for a reason.
Damn right.
It don't matter who's playing in it. And we've never seen our team playing it anyway.
Yes.
So it's never a team that we're rooting for. So what's it? So who's in this year's Super Bowl? Does it matter? No. My team's not in it.
Whoa.
But guess what? You smell that?
What's that?
Can you smell what the Saleh is cooking?
Look at that little wrestling comment.
Speaking of which,
I'm very impressed.
there's a burrito company. Mm-hmm. I think they're called American Burrito. Hold on a second. Everyone's going crazy with how my facial reaction when Jim called me Chris by mistake and then quickly called me Craig.
I think you smiled about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had like a big grin on your face.
So,
I know I did. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I know you did. Everybody did. Everyone was hoping, don't correct it, don't correct it, don't correct it.